What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology Retold action, spawning in the top of the map in the blue color, playing as Zeus. It's everyone's favorite Zeus man, by the name of Pegasus here. His opponent today in the red color, the man with many names. This time Severo, next time Keto. It is Keto, and he is playing as Ra. Map is Ghost Lake, and this one comes courtesy of the viewers over at Nullra's Station of Love and Expeditions. You know what that means, I'm sure. We'll see how this game's going to go and what sort of a game plan Keto's going to go for. There's been a lot of experimenting with Egyptians lately, trying to figure out exactly what is possible with them and what is not possible with them. Pegasus, on the other hand, he is a Greek lover at heart, and he is a Zeus player at heart. He is going to be showing us some of the shenanigans in this one as well, I'm sure. Last time I watched Pegasus playing against Egyptians, he went for this really, really cool early economic upgrade sort of idea where he went for early pickaxe, early hand axe, and then he dropped two extra town centers straight away. So fast 3 town centers. Unfortunately, was not able to hold in that one. He was against Keto's Isis in that game, but this time Keto's Ra. A little bit different. You're still going to be a little bit scared of certain things like what? Bast shenanigans, and like. But we'll see how it's all going to go. Relics on the map. Skulls of the Serapes, or Cercipes here. 120 seconds for those units there. Over on this left side, there is Rhea's Crown. Going to be making those town centers a little bit cheaper. And on this right-hand corner, we've got Trojan Gate Hinge, plus 40% of the base. And finally, Nose of the Sphinx, plus 15% of the base hit points there as well. As all of the house walls going to start coming up. All very much empowered. It's always nice to see everything just getting empowered up, being beautiful here. There's the temple now up for Pegasus as well. And it looks to me like he's going to be going for some sort of early pressure in this game. As the goat's getting picked up over here. I mean, is he going for early pressure? One villager on a favor probably means he wants either an extra Minotaur early on, or he could go for early, what's this called? Olympian parentage. It does make some sense to get this because the Heracles does take quite a while to come out, and if you're looking to put pressure onto your opponent nice and early and try and deny a town center, for example, the difference between 20 seconds and 10 seconds is quite a bit of actual damage and obviously time to get over onto that town center and do something. So I haven't seen anyone really doing a fast upgrade there anytime, but it could work. It could work. You never know. It's also more HP on the dudes, which isn't nothing. Alrighty. So, Athena and so no bar shenanigans here from our man Keto in this game. In fact, he's dropping a cheeky little obelisk. I like this obelisk here, guys. You got the Pharaoh empowering the monument, and then the monument empowers the obelisk, and the obelisk sees so much stuff. There is like no way to approach the Ra base when you do this. It's really, really smart. And he's going to put it over on this side as well. Look at how much he's going to see. Ready? And bang. I mean, even if you don't have the monument, it's still not a bad idea to do this, to be honest. As the monkeys, Minotaur wandering forward, going to kill off an obelisk on this side. And Pegasus is ready to drop his own town center on the left. The build order is so clean. Look at those resources. Literally 0 in the bank. Perfect amount for extra villagers. The wood is going to be coming up here as well. This is going to be one of those games where you really write down the timings of when he changes things around. This is a very, very clean build order from from Pegasus. He does go on to the berries first rather than the chickens. That might have just been because of the placement of the villagers, though I think he was eating them on the town center. But, you know, saving chickens for when you have husbandry does make some sense. Going on to the berries first, getting husbandry a little bit later does make some sense. Oh, yeah. And if you really want, you can throw a lighthouse down here in the Mythic Age and put that in the range of your monuments. And then all of a sudden, you see quite a bit of the map, as it is 3 monuments in a dream here. The Wadgets are coming through. Armory, market on the bottom also coming in. Now, unfortunately, Keto's building placement not quite able to hit those, so he's missing out on that one. But Pegasus is going to know what's coming for him. He knows he's got to be assuming he's playing against a 1 town center Ra, but there could be a cheeky little village center in the main base. It's not uncommon to see Ra players put a village center inside their main base. It's not a bad thing. It's always very, very strong. You can be as greedy as you want with it in terms of like the timing when you place it down. Don't need to defend it at all. As the spearman charging forward, getting those shanks on to this position here. So Heracles is going to be wandering all the way back into the main base here. Military Academy coming through here for Pegasus as well, as he is ready to start making some hoplites and start defending some things, as these spearmen need to get some damage done. When you're playing 1 town center, if you're ever going to be going for a 2nd town center, you need to get the villager kills first, as a couple of Wadgets do come in. They get 1 villager kill, and Pegasus needs to retreat back over there. Nice play. The Wadgets are back, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a while since we've seen them. They received a slight nerf. I say very, very slight. I still think they're very, very strong. There's a spearman coming over here. And Pegasus simply just going to be retreating back for the time being. And at this point, Pegasus, as the 2 town center player, as the Greek player, as the one under the pressure, realistically, what Pegasus kind of needs to do is he needs to get this gold mine defended so that Keto can't just pressure it with Wadgets. So potentially like a nice wall out here or something to just push back, and then maybe a heroic age to get himself out. Some myth units could be a good idea. He might want to just go for a whole bunch of Minotaur here as well, though the amount of Wadgets coming his way is going to be quite a bit, and they're going to be able to kill off those Minotaurs incredibly quickly in the start of the fight. So we'll see if Pegasus can actually hold here or not. There's 3 more Wadgets going to be coming in. A couple barracks on this side going to be going up. And we'll see what Keto can actually get done here. As Labyrinth of Minos pre-queued. As he obviously wants now, seeing the army of Keto, he wants those Minotaur. But the problem with this is they all cost gold. And realistically, Pegasus, he's going to be struggling for some resources here. He's got some farms up, some interesting farm placement. Obviously, putting those farms in the front here does make them very much open. Efficient, but out in the open, whereas the villagers on the back here, these going to be a little bit easier to protect. That being said, it's probably worth Pegasus' while to have dropped a granary over here, put the farm here and here, than in the way that he's done it. It's a very small difference there, but it could be a nice way to play around sort of this sort of position here that you kind of put yourself into. As Keto continues to mass units, Pegasus seeing the army in all its glory here, realizes there's really not that many axemen. So he's going to be more than happy to just go hoplite, Bull Minotaur. Realistically, the answer to what Pegasus is doing is pure axemen. So now we see that axeman Wadget and a couple priests on the back. Even just axeman Wadget is going to be enough. Does Keto actually spot the Bull Minotaur? Now he does, so he knows that is a potential to come for him. As the villagers moving up onto this spot, Pegasus will need to start utilizing the market to keep himself alive in this game. This gold mine is in such a rough position. Pegasus has got to be really unhappy about this as the heroes running forward. Minotaur comes in. That look at it. Wadgets are pretty good, my dudes. Restoration to come through. Heracles onto the back here. A bolt onto one of those Wadgets as the Jason coming through here as well. Will end up getting sniped down incredibly quickly. Can the rest of these hoplites actually win on this location or not is the big question. Remember, there's not that many axemen, but the Wadget's still alive. And Pegasus needs to pull back. Now, he does have enough resources for more Jason and another Heracles. He's got 440 wood in the bank, the food in the bank. I kind of think it would have been better for him to just sit back and wait, get himself to the heroic age to Apollo, and maybe build another temple and then just make out Manticore here, which he doesn't need gold for, in order to like break through these units. But this position here for Pegasus is looking very, very tough. He does throw down that temple. His idea here is definitely going to be Manticore. Apollo, Manticore makes a lot of sense. Lots of very low HP units that bunch up, allowing those Manticore to get some huge damage done. And not only that, there is an idea here for Pegasus to grab himself a technology called Temple of Healing while he tries to reclaim this gold mine, and then he can sit on that temple and kind of do some stuff. So even though Pegasus here has lost a little bit of a fight, he's now lost restoration as well. He does actually keep Keto in the classical age for just a little bit longer, but Sekhmet is on the way. So we'll see if Pegasus can work this one out. He's got 9 villages on favor. And realistically, I would say after you win that sort of a fight as Keto, you still haven't killed any villagers, really. The villager differential is really, really big. So, I mean, do you have the time to drop a town center at this point? Maybe. But probably the better idea would be to get heroic age like he's doing and try and continue to put this pressure on. Have this big, strong army. As we see Odysseus to come through. Lots and lots and lots of wood income here. Food income as well. As those Manticore, they're very expensive. Is it 28 favor? No, 25 favor there. There's the heavy infantry to come through. A couple more hoplites going to be coming in. Wasn't this a Chronos day? Well, today is Shoutcast Sunday, so it's an everything day. But if I do see any Chronos games, I definitely want to cast them. He's a fun god. Citadel to come in onto this spot here as well. As the Scarab is now out. And this does give a little bit of sieging opportunity here. There's a whole bunch of priests in. And we... Oh! I love to see this. A little cheeky crimson linen technology on the way here. This is going to help those Wadgets stay alive in the fight. Hoplites are out in a big way. 4 Manticore in as the villagers can start moving back over onto this gold mine. Get himself that one in. Pegasus is getting closer to getting up to that full population now. And Keto, he just backs off. He doesn't want to take a fight at this point. He's trying to get his upgrades. He wants this Slings of the Sun technology. Electron bullets would be good. Heavy axemen, heavy slingers. And Pegasus is ready to take some sort of a fight. He does have... Odysseus up here. Unfortunately, has been abandoned as the army charges forward. Missing that hero is going to be very, very big as the Manticore pulling all the way back. Those hoplites might need to pull away as well. As the Jason falls. And Pegasus, yet again, kind of overcommitting here. Only hoplites. I mean, hoplite manticore, it makes sense, right? The hoplites beat everything but the axemen. The manticore should clean up those axemen relatively quickly. As the villagers have snuck over onto this gold mine. The army, however, is coming through. Pegasus needs to run here. I mean, even if he loses all these villagers, it's not the worst thing in the world. But he does pull off. It looks like he's going to be out of there in time. As the Odysseus is now in the fight, so that's going to be a big help for him to kill off those Wadgets nice and quick. One villager ends up falling, but a hefty amount of gold. How much? 500-ish gold grabbed from that mine there. Every little bit matters at the moment. The market rates are looking very, very difficult here. As I wouldn't be surprised if Pegasus is able to get to the Mythic Age. Does he have a fortress? The fortress is the big blockage at the moment, as a whole bunch of archers to come through. Keto has pre-queued himself Horus, but he's very far away from that. Though he is a nearly full population, so he might, with 56 villagers, it's probably like a minute away if he has everyone on food and gold, which he does. And a fortress going to come up now for Pegasus. Keto still has Shifting Sands, though, so if he wants to go crazy, he can just grab all of his units and then just Shifting Sands onto this position. But look at all those Manticore. There's 7 of them now. But then again, he might want to hold that Shifting Sands for an Underworld at some point, right? As the army charging in. Keto can do nothing but retreat, it looks like. He doesn't want to take any fights. I guess this has found himself a really good position in this game now. And if he can get Mythic Age, which he's going to be going for, it looks like it's going to be very close to the Horus timing here as well. In fact, wait, I don't think Keto has a. Oh, yeah, he doesn't have a Migdol up yet. It's only now getting built up on this side, so it looks like after all is said and done, after all of that pressure and all of this sort of defensive maneuvering from Pegasus, Pegasus actually hits the Mythic Age first. Well, sneaking something in plain sight, surely that's a thing, right? It's snuck because you can see it, but he hasn't done anything to stop it. Right? You have to look. It's like if somebody comes into your store and sneaks a couple of confectionery items from right under your nose. That is right under your nose, but you missed it. You didn't see it. So technically, I think it is still snuck. Very much sneaking. And yes, I am comparing stealing confectionery to taking a gold mine. There's the Scarab ready to start pushing forward. A couple of hoplites coming up to this top position. Going to be looking to pick up some villagers here. Oh! Shifting Sands to come in and respond. Pegasus says, I don't care about your units. Let me just kill this town center quickly and then I'll run away. So he takes a couple of losses, but that's a big amount of resources actually lost there for Keto. And now no Shifting Sands. We'll see. We'll see without Shifting Sands now. Underworld is the big thing on the table, plus Lightning Storm. Migdol Stronghold on this side. Now, generally speaking, if you get into this late game, Horus versus Zeus, realistically what you need is what? As we do see the Horus actually coming in first because he does get it from Citadel. There's the oh god, he's running straight into, oh no. All of the, oh no, the unit's going to be retreating away. Only half of the army is here as well as the rest of this army over here will be retreating away, but all of this will end up falling as both players get battered, bruised, dominated here. Oh dear. That was brutal. The tornado, it might seem difficult to work this out, but if you've ever played against tornado, the way that it works is it's always going to go in a counterclockwise pattern based on effectively your map looking like the way that I'm looking here. It's always going to go like this, right? In that pattern. So over here, when it was clicked, it went boom around like this. So you have to walk away from that pattern, I guess. There's the Jason here, fully upgraded. He's in the Mythic Age now. He's ready to take out these Wadgets. Both of the Wadgets and the Jason are in the Mythic Age though. But is he 2 hitting Wadgets? Look at this guy go. 1? No, he's 3 hitting the Wadget. Okay. Jason and a Dream here. Town Center on this top side. Looks like it will be going up as Pegasus is slowly controlling the map. Joebot is asking, is there a way to tell where the Lightning Storm is placed? I don't actually know, but I think the first Lightning Strike is where it's placed. No? Maybe I'm wrong. Actually, does it say here? I don't think so. Now Pegasus needs to start up a big trade route. And it looks like the game, after all is said and done, has reached a relatively equal situation moving into the late game. So, let me continue my thoughts on Horus versus Zeus. The unit composition is as follows. Full Chariot, especially if you segment. Full Chariot, unless there's Peltast, at which case you need full Axeman. Full Axeman should beat Hoplite Peltast with Horus upgrades because they're fast enough to get in there. They do enough damage, especially with Dar as well. Maybe have some Chariots in the back there, and you can also get these Avengers to come in as they're going to get a lot of good damage on Restoration to come through. Can Keto hold on this one? He does have those Slingers as well. Not a bad unit to be adding in onto this fight. But I'm sure Pegasus at some point here is going to start going into those Peltasts and making things very, very tough. Does he Peltast? Yeah, full Peltast loses to full... Sorry, not full Peltast. Full Slinger, full Champion Slinger loses to full Champion Peltast. I think without any upgrades, the Peltast are still winning because they are a heroic unit taking on a classical age unit. Or you could go into full Hippias as well as an idea. Alternatively, a whole bunch of, I guess, Minotaur? Probably not Minotaur. Maybe Manticore? Medusa? Maybe not Medusa, but nonetheless. This Pegasus is going to be looking for a little cheeky underworld here. There's literally obelisks everywhere. Look at the line of sight here for Keto. He's going to... How good is this little Pegasus move around the outside of the map? You can barely see the blue dot on the corner there. A little sneaky knowledge. I mean, Pegasus does kind of pop off onto the side there. But nonetheless, if you want to be sneaky, you can be very sneaky. As the Wadget, oh, not the Wadgets, but the Medusa are coming through. We see Face of Gorgon on the way. This one does make that petrification ability very easy to utilize. Very quick. Many will come through as more Medusa Matriarchs going to be on the way. And both players are just, you know, they're saying, no worries. I'm happy to just take it slow here. I guess for Keto, he's got two options here. One could be to drop the Citadels, as we do see a cheeky little siege tower to come through. And the other... So you got the Citadels, and the other would be to make a whole bunch of Avengers here. Does he have the upgrades for these bad boys? He does. Or he's missing one of them. As the Axon all going to get chewed up on the front there. Villagers do manage to snipe down one siege tower there on the front. And look at these Peltasts just going to town. They will be taking out those Toxotes as well. The Slinger's popping up over onto this side, trying to take out those villagers. The Peltast going to start getting that damage done. Wait, is he... Whoop. You could use the Medusa to kill off the catapult. They actually do some crush damage with their attack, so... be able to take it out as the catapult does go down, but another one there to replace him. As Keto's got a huge number of units here. We just see the Avenger on the back there going down. And now we see more archery ranges are needed. Pegasus has only got himself 4 archery ranges at the moment. He needs a ton so that he can get those peltasts out to actually clean up all of those slingers here. And the other thing, he's got 29 villagers on favor. That's a lot. Obviously, he's making Medusa. And Medusa are very, very strong. Though, then again, divine damage slingers? What's better? I don't know. Interesting. We'll have to wait and see if he can actually hold here at 190 pop. He doesn't have fortified town center either. This is a really terrible amount of economy. He's got a Avenger running through here. Where's the Bellerophon at? Jason is on this spot, but he needs the population. I mean, a dead villager might mean the Jason comes out. Nope. Maybe at some point. He's Medusa, though. So brutally strong. So the slinger's going to come through. Charging forward. A couple units do fall, but he does retreat out. Jason is now out to try and deal with this Avenger getting raids in. With that upgrade, it's so nice. We do have a cheeky little underworld passage to come through from where? Behind all of the shenanigans here. Going to be going after these villagers. Picks off four villagers, 5 villagers here as they all get petrified. They kind of look pretty sick here. So Heliopolis going to charge forward. Don't really understand this underworld. I think on the back here onto this trade route would have been really, really good. But he doesn't know that that's there. I guess he would assume the trade route's on this side. Just what his plan is. Yes, Pegasus does have the high ground now. It's over, Anakin. Can the Medusas win this, though? And where's the Bellerophon? The champion of Zeus is not in here just yet. As the slingers, with the help of a couple of priests, seemingly holding on here nicely. Meanwhile, over on this side, we do have a cheeky attempt at a town center, but not going to be happening for the time being. The units do get out of position, which will potentially allow Pegasus to grab this position back. He has started his trade route now. I mean, the one thing is that I think Pegasus has only had 1 extra gold mine in this game, so he's doing a lot of work to keep himself in this game. He's put in a lot of work here. But Keto's had so many more resources to just gather. I don't think there's any gold left on the map at all. It's all trade route at the 27th minute of this game. There's another citadel to come in, and this game just gets harder and harder and harder for Pegasus to actually win. See action over here, going to attempt to hold on. Catapults coming through here to try and take out the markets down on the bottom. A fortress to come up for Pegasus as well. As the market ends up falling, fortress over here ends up falling. Yeah, 210 pop versus 255. And you can see that pop difference in military here as well, as Keto's also cut villages. And he's going to be taking out the trade route. And after this market goes down, I mean, what do you do next as Pegasus here? Bellerophon to come through. Siege works falling there. A couple of towers to come up as well, as the Bellerophon will start running over here. Can he jump over and kill off those Deuterinos? He's going to be able to take off out some villages very quickly here. Oh. Bit of a catapult to come in. You got to be paying so much attention. He does manage to pick off 2 of them. Bellerophon is killing villages right now. Very busy. I think he's trying to get him to run around here, but I don't know. I don't understand. Don't ask me what the Bellerophon's doing. I don't understand it. Market coming back up in the corner. Town center coming up over here though for Keto's. He's going to go up to 4 town centers plus having 2 citadels, and he's almost got himself a 3rd citadel at this point. catapult going to go down. Metropolite, only 2 of them in here. Shifting sands to come through to attempt to hold this position. That's a lot of units showing up here, but a lot of favor gone. And at this point, what can Pegasus realistically do here? I mean, he's so far behind on population. That's the big problem. A Titan? A Titan might not be a terrible idea. A Wonder? I don't know if he'd ever get the Wonder up. He's almost got enough for another Lightning Storm. He's got 40 on favor. 40. 41 villagers on favor, because why not? How much favor? Oh, he's going to resign. That's why. Well, good game here. Well played by Keto. It's nice to see the Wadgets back. Getting some good value, showing how good they are. They also did get picked off very quickly, though. But yeah, I think Pegasus just didn't really build the counter units. Like, realistically, just going slingers, you got to make Hippias, or you got to make Peltast. And he did make some Peltast, but just not enough, and too slow. So the slingers got huge value with Chariot Archers mixed in, Axemen mixed in as well. Just seemed like the unit composition was a little bit off here from Pegasus. But a nice hold from him during it. I like the sort of technique, so to speak, with getting to the heroic gauge, getting out those Manticore, not having to rely on a gold mine to get an army out to push forward and get his position back. Managed to get 3 town centers here, but just could not quite convert. Nonetheless, if you guys enjoyed this one, please consider the follow on Twitch. If on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next game. What is going on, everyone? Another game, another you, another me. This time, we are going to be watching the game settings menu in the left-hand corner of the map, playing as Frey. His name is Severo Keto Jones. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Zeus. His name is Pegasus with the most... I don't know what I was trying to say there. I thought there was some sort of nickname I was going to come up with on the fly. I was just going to come off the tongue, but it didn't really work. But it's Pegasus, the Pegasus man. Very, very exciting time to be alive here. These two players are two players who probably haven't actually been able to play against each other very much. Like, Pegasus was a player that played on Vubly, and Keto played on EE when they were like learning the game on Extended Edition. And such, the only time that they've really been able to play each other is actually in the Retold universe. They may have played a little bit when Pegasus was delving into his Fuji strategic expeditions, showing everyone how insanely strong the Chinese were on the tail of the dragon. Speaking of which, very excited. It's coming. It's coming. Is Pegasus going to be the trendsetter for the new China, or is it... is he going to have to stick it out with the Greeks? I'm excited to see what he can come up with, because he's definitely one of the more... Like, while he has a ton of mechanics, he's one of the more strategically orientated or more aggressively orientated players in terms of stretch strategy. He likes to find the aggressive strategy, likes to apply the tempo and be the person in charge of a game. Keto, on the other hand, he is much more of that defensive sort of player. So we've got a really, really cool matchup because of this. Like, really defensive player with Keto, really aggressive player with Pegasus. It makes for some incredibly good games. And on top of that, we've got a fantastic matchup. So Zeus versus Frey is really, really good, because effectively the big god power which makes this one tough for Norse to deal with early on is Restoration. And the big god power which makes Frey difficult to deal with early on is Gullenbursty. And realistically, those two god powers actually cancel each other out. Or at the very least, Restoration is going to cancel out a big portion of the Gullenbursty damage, which is the shockwave damage into the stun time, into the etc, etc, etc. And you can Restoration through that while you run your army and then reposition to take the fight if need be. So we'll see how this one's going to turn out. I don't think I've seen this matchup all too much at the top level. A lot of the times, actually, I've seen it on Anatolia and stuff, but Anatolia is its own kettle of fish in terms of how games sort of go. But the good thing about this is, you know, these players are both playing kind of cutting edge theory, so to speak, with these gods. They're not kind of going in for any sort of old strats for the most part. Obviously, Freyr is new, so there's not really much you can do with that. So we'll see what Pegasus is going to do. Personally, I'm a fan of getting out really early really early Labyrinth of Minnows, so I can get my Minotaurs going, so I can start raiding and causing pressure while going behind that, going for a town center or going for extra pressure. So you can kind of decide which way you want to go. On the Frey side of things, I'm really looking to just make my base as defensive as I possibly can. And you can see that Keto's already sort of doing this. He's built a house out to the side to connect up to the forest here. The bottom forest over on this side can get walled off. There's an obnoxious gold mine sitting here, but you can still wall into this and be fine. You could also wall down the back here as well. So it's a pretty good map for Keto. He's also got forward food, forward chickens, and forward berries, which isn't ideal, but it's not the end of the world because you can kind of defend these, but it is going to be a raidable thing here if Pegasus wants to go for it, as his Minotaur does come out. It looks like he's going for a town center as he drops a military academy, so it's not a town center. These could be fakes. I'm a big fan of the fake gameplay where you go for a little bit of a fake. I mean, Pegasus here actually did go for a bit of a double early economic upgrade build here, so this might be completely different. But effectively, you can go back and watch the little numbers going up in the VOD if you like, and work out the build for those sweaty players at home. But this has been something I've been thinking about a little bit for Greek for quite some time. Is the idea there was this build order that kind of came around, and this is kind of reminiscent of it from what Peggy's doing. A bit of a history lesson with what AOM King did back in the day on vanilla. And realistically, the reason he did it was everyone was sort of very much slow, playing a slow game. So he thought, well, instead of advancing quick, starting building units and trying to fight, early on, I'll take the slower route to the classical age. I'll get my economic upgrades in, build more military buildings, and spam out more units as an idea. And that makes a lot of sense in Retold. It didn't make a whole lot of sense in Vanilla, to be honest. As the meta got stronger and better, it actually did turn out that the faster advances were generally better because you could actually pressure food and get early damage done very consistently. But in Retold, you can't really. I mean, you can, but you can't really. So this fast advance is really, really nice, as Pegasus is trying to get a little bit of pressure on. He's not going for a town center at all. He's just trying to attack onto this spot. The hill fort is still very, very far away, so every little bit of damage here matters. Keto trying to retreat back. That hill fort is very much going to go down, so huge win for Pegasus, as you can only say what you can say here, but you know, Pegasus has caught Keto out. I think Keto expected something completely different here, and he got served a big bowl of Zeus at the start of this game. Take a shot every time. Well, I mean, this is where the build comes from. It's not my fault. He's the first guy who did it. You can take a shot every time you like. You're going to be very drunk. He's my favorite player of all time. He's the player I learned off. I learned off his recorder games. Very, very fun times. But this doesn't necessarily mean the game is over or anything. But this is very, very bad for Keto, because now he doesn't have access to the Huskal for quite some time. He needs those Huskal in so that he can deal with like the Toxotes. As the Ula player, you don't have access to Thundering Hooves, so those raiding cavalry aren't as good. You can still build them. They're still decent, but they're not like a unit I'm excited to build as an Ula player. I'm excited to get those Huskal out and make throw an axeman. It's a much more solid composition against Hoplite Toxotes, as now Pegasus is like, all right, time to get my own town center up. He's very, very quick on this shanking action, but Keto does snipe one villager on this position, as the town center area is going to be coming up. And I guess this kind of gives Keto the opportunity to go for his own town center, but look at his resources. Things have gone very much out the window for Keto in this game. We'll see if he's going to sneak over and grab this town center here. This will be his best town center to grab at this point. Just because it's got back gold, it's got a elk patch, 2 elk patches, it's got the berries over here. Pegasus has also kind of got this as well for deer there. Berries, kind of nice gold mines. But all of the food seems to be at the bottom of the map. So I think in terms of just sheer amounts of resources, Keto actually wins on this one. I'm a bit surprised to see Pegasus go for the top town center here. I'm sure he saw it all, right? What's he seeing? Yeah, he sees how good this town center is at the bottom. Generally speaking, that second town center, while it is further away from Pegasus's base, like, it's not that far. So you can make, you literally could take whatever third town center you want, and you're fine, I think, in a game of Age of Mythology. You don't lose that many resources making that wander over there. I'm calling Blue Keto because he's Keto Severo Jones. He's known as Keto in the Twitch chats. He is known as Keto in the old game, but this is just one of his several accounts. The man with many names. Toxotes taking the front axeman over here. But with the town center up, there is still restoration. So if Peggy wants to try and bait out a classical age Ghoul and Bursty here, he can just restoration and then back off and then continue the game and be in a really good spot. As the wall gets cleaned up over here. But, I mean, you also don't need to force the Ghoul and Bursty right now. You could try and get to the heroic age and chop a fortress up and then try and take down the town center as a completely different approach. So we'll see which way he wants to go. It's probably safer to go that way, as he is going up through Dionysus. We've also got Keto already clicked up through Aegir, so that's good for him. It's another wall to fall down. Archery range, military academy coming up over here. There's another longhouse for Keto to come down. And we'll see what he can come up with in this game. If he can bring himself out of this spot. I mean, the thing is, he's going to go heroic age. He's still going to be able to build hill forts. Just because he lost that first hill fort doesn't really change a huge amount. It just means less Huskal early on. If he can get to his point where he's nice and safe, he's going to be very, very happy. We see a great haul getting dropped down, probably for Goaty. Needs those Goaty to deal with Minotaur, to deal with Hydra, to deal with Medusa, to deal with Nemean Lions. And he doesn't have Nemean Lions, Manticore, etc., etc., etc. And we see the immediate ballistics coming out. For those of you who don't know, if you've ever like using Toxotes or archers in general and you feel like they're just like not as good in your games, 9 times out of 10, the reason why they look much better in these sort of top level games is because the players rush out this ballistics tech. It's actually, this technology probably adds more DPS to your archers than both medium and heavy archers does. I could be wrong on that. Haven't tested anything out, but it seems like it really, really increases their effectiveness. So it's a must grab tech. It's a must rush tech. You absolutely need to get it. As a hill fort for Keto to come up. Wouldn't be surprised to see him just slam down 3 hill forts here. He doesn't actually have the favor to get himself this huge technology in the temple here just yet, which is the Feast of Renown tech. But I'm sure that's going to be on his radar after he gets these hill forts down. I would normally say there isn't a rush to this, but there really is. And we see actually a rock giant coming in instead. I'm a bit surprised to see that. Because maybe he just doesn't need the food, I guess. He just wants that rock giant so that he can potentially have a counter to Hapaspist or something like that. But at this point, I can only assume that Pegasus is going to be wanting to get out a whole bunch of Peltast here. He's got the Toxotes hoplites to kind of deal with those berserks, but the unit that's going to be tough for him to kill are those Thrown Axemen. So at some point here, when he sees the army, he's probably going to start thinking for Peltast. Whereas Keto, I think he's probably not going to change his unit comp ever. Moving on. There's not really, I mean, realistically, there's not really a great unit comp. He's got the great unit comp. He doesn't need another one. As we do see the bronze to come down, bolt onto the rock giant there. A nice bolt as the hero is going to be charging through. The fortress does finish up. Peggy does still have himself a restoration, but he's holding it, which I absolutely love for the moment. Retreating back in underneath this position as Pegasus rush. He's actually held this position, and the Tempest is just gone. This is not ideal for Keto at all. The whole Tempest push almost needs to get value for the Freyr player for them to actually get things done. As a couple of hoplites to move up to the top position, I wouldn't be surprised if those Berserks actually win this one, as we do see Hell pre-queued. Pretty rare to see Hell coming through. We'll see if the hoplites... looks like half of the Berserks don't want to fight there, so the hoplites will win on that top fight. Going to prevent any sort of side builds there as well. And now we do have that Feast of Renown tech. As Pegasus is just... I'm a little bit shocked that he was able to get the Hera out, get the Lightning Storm on the resources out, whereas Keto is just pumping buildings. I mean, I guess it's probably just because of all the hill forts. There's quite a lot of resources sunk into this, whereas Pegasus hasn't been building units. I think if Keto has an inkling that Pegasus is going Mythic Age here, he probably would be attacking at the moment. So he must be feeling like he's not going there. As an interesting town center grab here for Keto, going to be allowing him to use that Ghoul and Bursty to charge into the main base if he wants to take this. Is the army now going to be charging forward, killing off a hill fort? Losing this hill fort for Keto isn't a big deal, but having the hill fort there is a garrison position for him. So he definitely be wanting this position if he can. Meanwhile, into the main base, houses getting sniped down. This is incredibly annoying. We'll see if Pegasus can quickly react to that. He's going to have to take a villager, build a house, take a villager, build a house, etc. As they're all falling. As the hill fort has fallen, and now Hell going to be coming through. I'm genuinely surprised we aren't seeing like Peltas. We're not seeing... We've got some Hypaspis in, but still no Peltas. As Pegasus is getting himself champion infantry, champion ranged soldiers. Bronze armor is also coming through. On the other side here, Hito's missing some stuff. We see the Ghoul and Bursty getting thrown down here, but Hito doesn't have any other units here. Ghoul and Bursty, not so strong if you don't have an entire army to back it up. And Pegasus has still got restoration in the tank, as well as Lightning Storm. It looks like Keto or Pegasus is trying to bait out the Lightning Storm with half of his army over here. But realistically, this is just meaning he's taking a bad fight. And Pegasus, too smart here for him, says, I don't care. I don't need to click Lightning Storm right now. I'll click it when I want to click it. As those Hydra are now incredibly, incredibly strong. 3 heads, 2 heads. This one over here, just the one. Does he have the upgrade for it? No. Is he going to get it? I want to see it. I want to see it. I love this upgrade. I mean, it takes a long time for it to pay itself off. Well, not really. It depends on how much HP is missing from your Hydras. If you've got 4 Hydras and you get the tech, it probably only takes like 30 seconds. But now the Nidhogg comes in. The Lightning Storm gets dropped down. Does the Nidhogg take lightning shots? I don't know. But the units here will be running back into those hill forts. So the majority of the units for Keto look like they will be surviving in this one. But onto the bottom position, this is where the damage is being done. The gold mines getting completely stopped. Units are back out. Peggy has to retreat away. And now the toughest part about this game for the Zeus player at this point looks like it's going to be dealing with the Nidhogg. Now he's got 4 units that can shoot up. He's getting himself the upgrade Olympian Parentage, which in my opinion is a really good tech for the Mythic Age. It's okay for before the Mythic Age, but in the Mythic Age it's amazing because it's cutting down the build time for those heroes. They come out really quickly as that Nidhogg is getting so much damage. It's attacking a Medusa, unfortunately, on the back line. If he was attacking those hoplites on the front, he would absolutely dominate them. But now the heroes are out. Odysseus and Jason are in to start taking out that fire giant. And in that moment, Keto says he does not have what it takes to stay alive in this game. Pegasus found too many early game advantages and was able to convert in the end. I really like this build. Let's take a quick look at when the technologies come in. Does it tell me here? I don't think it tells me. I'm going to have to go back and check this build out because this is very, very cool. But a later advance time, 4:15, looks like was his idea, with hand axe, with pickaxe. Probably not husbandry, though husbandry could be another technology to add into the build such that you can jump onto chickens and it will be really, really nice. But a really, really well played game by Pegasus here. And better luck next time for Keto. I think if Keto had just attacked with his army and the Ghoul and Bursty all in one and locked Pegasus into this position, Pegasus would have had nothing to do in that moment other than click Lightning Storm. And then all of a sudden he can retreat back and then he can push in with the Nidhogg and potentially stay alive here. But nonetheless, well played by Peggy.